Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Sports Hub. We are hoping you are having a fantastic week so far. I'm Will Haroldson. Alongside me, as always, are my partners Brody, Kupsky, and Ashton Parker. Today we are going to dive into some important topics like Pointers baseball's late success, the Milwaukee Brewers starting to get hot, and the Milwaukee Bucks taking command in their first-round series against the Bulls. All of this and more when we come back. The Pointers baseball team has been nothing but incredible in the month of April. As of right now, the Pointers are a scorching hot 15-2 in the month of April and are getting hot at the right time as they head into what maybe is the most important series in deciding who will win the WIAC regular season against UW-Whitewater. Part of the Pointers' success has been their ability to hit the stitches off the ball. The Pointers have 8 batters with a batting averages over 250. So guys, the Pointers have been impressive for sure, but how impressive has it been for them to be as successful as they are?
It's very impressive currently, and the fact that they've been able to hit the ball this well for this long is insane, and it shows just how strong this Pointers offense really is. And we said last week, I think we said during the news portion last week about Pointers baseball about how their fielding and their pitching has improved, and I still feel now I'm starting to believe again with that, and I'm starting to really feel like that. The Pointers really are improving on all fronts now, and they're not dialing back on the batting when they're doing better on their defense. Everything is pushing forward, and the offense is staying the best in the nation.
Yeah, I definitely agree. When I was watching the games this past weekend against Claire, they definitely looked amazing and their hitting as usual, but their pitching really improved. Little rough. It was Sunday morning with Nick Paulson. A little rough start, but they really came back and showed why their hitting is the best, probably in the conference.
Yeah, without question. But to your point, when you go against a team like Whitewater, you want to be in the moment, but you don't want to be too in the moment, because if you solely focus on Whitewater, then that means you could, maybe if you do well, you could lay an egg in the next game. And so you want to almost think of every series as this is the most important series of the year.
Yeah, and it's important to mention, too, that they're currently tied in the standings right now with the Pointers having the advantage in overall record, too. So, think about it. The Pointers still obviously want to win both games, as that puts them firmly ahead in the conference by 2 games. However, they really only need to win 1 game to continue to be first in the conference right now. So they can, 1 game of the series, maybe the hitters just aren't hitting the ball. Maybe just take some time, regroup, and they
So sorry, folks. We had some technical difficulties, but let's get right back into it. Let's get some final thoughts here quickly about the series coming up against Whitewater tomorrow.
I would say it's a huge series, but don't focus on that, and just remember you still have 2 more series to go. I mean, you still play UW Platteville, who, it's not a pushover, but you still need to worry about that. And also Oshkosh, which definitely is not a pushover, but you definitely need to worry about those series and not just 1 series.
Exactly, yeah, and also, don't focus on changing anything. Just keep doing what they're doing, and whatever they're doing right now, it's working. So just keep going. Just keep on moving.
Right, absolutely. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll break down the Brewers' recent success. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Hey, look at that. We are back. The Milwaukee Brewers have now won 4 of their last 5 games and look to be the contenders that we all thought they would be in the National League. After what was really a rough pitching start to the season, the Brewers pitchers have really gotten back into shape. More surprisingly is the rapid development of pitcher Eric Lauer, who struck out 13 in Sunday's 1-0 victory in Philadelphia against the Phillies. So guys, what stuck out to you in these this little win streak here, is there anything that what stuck out to you?
I would say the hitting has been a lot better. Yet their pitching in the bullpen, I mean, Josh Hader has been insane the entire season. I'm just looking at some stats for Hader. He is currently at a 0 ERA. He has 8 saves. Strikeouts, he has 11. And he's just been the perfect closer for the Brewers. But along with that, their hitting has been pretty solid.
Yeah, without question. But Eric Lauer, pretty impressive. Although he did get some favorable calls yesterday by Angel Hernandez. But
That's an Angel Hernandez moment.
He did pitch a very, very good game.
He did?
Yesterday. It was 1-0. So, I mean, nobody was hitting the stitches off the ball yesterday,
Okay.
but they certainly, pitching got its job done.
Yeah, and honestly, when I'm thinking about it, I don't know how much of that is, obviously, Eric Lauer, the pitching of Brewers. Again, we all know it's amazing. It always has been. And honestly, I can see Eric Lauer now starting to become that third of the big three because Brendan Woodruff has done better. Corbin Burns is amazing still. But Freddie Peralta it's still been pretty rough recently with I think right now he has over a 7 ERA right now.
Yes.
So Eric Lauer might now become that third person in that big three now. And of course, if Freddie Peralta can find his way, then they'll have a big four. But also, I don't know how much a part of that has been overall hitting in the league becoming worse. That's been a big headline right now for baseball in general, that hitting overall in the league has been worse now than in previous seasons before. We already see a downtrend in 2021, and now we're starting to even see a bigger downtrend now in 2022. Now, of course, another reason why is the batting has been improving. Obviously, Andrew McCutchen has been an amazing sign up for the Brewers. Hunter Renfroe's actually been doing pretty good. I've been quite surprised. Rowdy Tellez is amazing. Christian Yelich is sort of coming back, but I think maybe it's still a little too early to tell. But I think overall, because of the kind of a bigger downtrend of hitting, the Brewers are starting to really they're starting to take advantage of that situation because of their rock-solid pitching.
Right, and they're 10-6 now, tied or in half a game behind first place of the St. Louis Cardinals. So, I mean, albeit 16 games into a 162-game season really isn't much of a sample size, but it's refreshing to see them start to get things back together after what was really an ugly series against the Chicago Cubs to start the season. But we look at the National League as a whole. Obviously, the Dodgers are out there. They're going to be great. The Padres, the Giants, the Brewers have a nice series coming up against the San Francisco Giants. Is there a team who you think in the National League that, obviously it's really early in the season, but that's a team who, if the Brewers make it to the postseason, you got to be like, look out for them because they can cause some trouble.
The way I look at it, the New York Mets, shockingly enough, is actually doing really well. In years past, the Mets, have kind of been a joke with lol Mets. I mean, that's kind of a meme. But the Mets have been looking strong. They have the hitting. They definitely have the pitching. If they can stay consistent, they would be a big threat in the playoffs.
Don't fall for it. This is pure Mets right here. They start the season really well, and as soon as it hits like the All-Star break, then they start to lose. And then they show to be the true Mets right there. Honestly, and maybe this time is different. That's what we thought last year too. We thought that it was different last year, but then they missed the playoffs because of their awful August and September. But another team that's really been shocking is the Rockies of Colorado. They made a couple of free agent signings in the offseason that were a little interesting. But we thought that the Rockies were going to suck. But they've actually been doing really well recently. So honestly, if they continue to be like this, maybe they could be a really big threat. And honestly, this West is looking insane. The NL West is looking insane right now.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the Giants, you got the Padres, you got the Dodgers, you got the Rockies, and the Diamondbacks. Obviously, they're not world beaters, but they're still
okay.
down there, and they're giving people fits. Something, home field advantage is really important. But we saw it last year. The Atlanta Braves came into Milwaukee, and they really asserted themselves and showed that they were true contenders. So it's one of those teams where, because it's so early in the season, we're like, oh, okay, these guys were all the great ones last year. But is there any team that's like not doing as well right now that could make that Atlanta Braves push towards the end of the season?
Chicago. I really do think so. I think Chicago can. They've shown that they have some pieces to make, maybe not, I don't think they're going to win the NL Central, but I think they can grab at least a wild card spot. Seiya Suzuki has been insane recently, and he's looking like he's going to be the franchise face for Chicago for years to come right now. Maybe not this year, but I think soon they're going to have to start worrying about Chicago again.
I definitely agree with Chicago. I mean, as much as I am a Brewers fan, I don't really like Chicago, but they have been looking pretty insane. Seiya Suzuki is a really good player coming out of Japan. And they have some of the pieces there, like Patrick Wisdom's a good player. Ian Happ's a great player. Frank Schwindel, Frank the Tank is amazing. But if they can get their pitching maybe a little bit better, I mean, you can't always rely on Kyle Hendricks. If their pitching gets a little better, they can make a late playoff push.
That's for sure. And then there's the poor Cincinnati Reds.
We don't talk.
the team they were competitive last year and for a moment had a wild card spot, but they have had so much happen this year, from their owner talking about wanting to relocate to just really losing. They lost Nick Castellanos to the Phillies. They lost so many pieces of their team. They're in a world of hurt right now.
Yeah, poor. That's all I can say. I don't have much to say right now.
I definitely
about
agree.
Cincinnati.
I mean, when you have fans coming to games in grocery bags on your head, paper bags on your head, it's not a good sign.
No.
It's an Ohio tradition.
Yeah, with the Cleveland Browns. We're gonna take one final break, and when we come back, we'll discuss how the Bucks can finish off this first round series against the Bulls. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
In the first two games of this Eastern Conference first-round matchup between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Chicago Bulls, the reigning champs Bucks looked pretty sluggish. After escaping Game 1 with a 93-86 win, the Bulls were able to capture a huge win in Game 2. Since that point, the series has looked really one-sided. The Bucks have absolutely pummeled the Bulls, winning 111-81 in Game 3 and 119-95 in Game 4. So, guys, what changed for the Bucks to really take over? Because now it looks like the champs are just playing with the Bulls.
Honestly, I think the Chris Middleton injury, like genuinely, it's awful. It's awful that Middleton's gone, and I think for the long run, maybe I think this is going to be very worrisome. However, with Chris Middleton gone and the Bucks playing Grayson Allen more, I think the offense have looked a lot better with Grayson Allen on the floor. He's been lights out in shooting in games 3 and 4. Game 4, he shot 83% from 3. I think he went 6 for 7, and he shot 87% from the field and he had career high playoff games in both Game 3 and 4. So I think it's because of that injury that the Bucks have been able to adapt to it, and then they've been able to have a much more fluid offense against Chicago.
I definitely hate to say it, but Grayson Allen has been the big difference. As a Wisconsin fan, you always watch Grayson Allen at Duke, and it just makes you mad to see him on the Bucks doing good. But I will say, Grayson Allen has been the big difference.
Yeah, that's for sure. And obviously, Chris Middleton has sprained MCL, out for 2 to 3 weeks. So obviously, the NBA playoffs is a long time, and you don't want to rush him to come back, but he was a huge part of that championship season a year ago.
That's very true. However, I'm looking at this and I'm getting some hardcore 2021 Eastern Conference Finals vibes from this. Star player gets out. This time it's Chris Middleton. Then it was Giannis. And then the Bucks offense had to adapt to the lack of that star. And then they were able to win the next 2 games, and then obviously 2021 win the championship after beating the Hawks. In 2021, it was with Brook Lopez. He absolutely showed up in Game 5, and Game 6. Now it's Grayson Allen in Game 3 and 4, and possibly Game 5 in Milwaukee. So, I really think that if they win tomorrow, I think they'll have enough time for Chris Middleton to sit back, just relax, go through the process properly, and just look at the possible. I think Boston's looking like it's going to be the winner in that series. Look ahead to that series, and then plan for that properly, and then just keep going. What's working right now is working. It's not like Chicago's a bad team. They're still a solid team, even though they're missing Lonzo Ball. And I think it's just they gotta keep going. Just keep doing what they're doing.
I definitely agree. Just keep on staying consistent. Keep on playing well. In the teams that are doing well, the Celtics, maybe the 76ers, the Heat, they'll come. And if we just stay consistent, Bucks should have a pretty good shot at winning.
I would agree with that. Well, that'll do it for another episode of the Sports Hub. If you like what you saw today, make sure you check out our other content we have here at SPTV. Once again, I want to thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.